and welcome to episode 4 of Mad's World, Sugar Rush. This episode dips its toe into the ocean that is sugar dating, sugar daddies, and sugar babies. So, in the name of research, I've spent the last week on Seeking Arrangements, a sugar dating website, to see what I could learn. And sugar daddy profiles include all the usual things a dating app has, like height, hair colour, interests, but it also includes their net worth, their annual income, and their marital status alongside a bio. So I wanted to read to you guys some of my favourite sugar daddy bios. I'm going to alter the voice so you know when I'm reading the bio, and then I'll give a little bit of commentary around each one for you. So here we go.
At my age, I only have about 2,000 active days left, so I'm looking for some young friends to help me spend this time on restaurants, entertainment and travel. I've been to 58 countries from Lhasa to Acapulco to Timbuktu. We can go anywhere and do anything, but please don't expect to receive cash.
So I love this man. I feel kind of sorry for him. He's 76, he's got all this money to burn, he just wants to go somewhere with a nice lady, and he's probably widowed, so he probably doesn't really have anyone to go with. So this one, it kind of broke my heart a little bit.
Looking for a beautiful woman I can spoil and entertain on a regular basis. I travel a lot, so not always around, but okay spoiling while travelling, gifts, etc. Prefer to work out a mutual arrangement that fits both our goals, not looking for sex.
So this one I found interesting because it says he's not looking for sex, and whether he is or isn't, I mean, it was surprising to me that there is actually people out there that are just looking for sex, and you'll hear a bit more about that with my chat later on with Hayley.
Yes, I have a family and love them, but I'm looking at what else life can offer right now. If that is something you're not comfortable with, I understand, so please tell me and we'll move on.
So this one really baffled me because sometimes I think people see having an affair as something that sort of just happens by accident or maybe something that just occurs naturally. But yeah, the fact that there's people out there looking to have an affair really shocked me. So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that one was very interesting.
I'm a decent guy, not super rich, but also don't want to tie you up. I'm just a normal bloke. If you don't need endless supplies of cash and do like a guy to talk to, say hello.
So this one I found interesting because I think there's a huge perception that sugar daddies are all just these old men and super rich and that kind of thing. But I think this guy's I think there might be a lot of like lonely nerds and stuff on there who don't really know how to speak to women. And yeah, this is kind of a last resort or an only option for them. So that was quite interesting.
It would be good if you've got all the limbs, HIV negative, and none of that Mexican beer virus.
So this one I found so funny. I don't know if he's being serious. If he is, play on player. If he's not, play on player.
I really like chastity and I'm looking for someone to hold the key to a chastity cage. I'm happy to offer a £1,000 monthly allowance.
So this one, I went on Amazon to search chastity cage because I was a bit confused. So if you are interested, go and search what it is. It's really interesting. But I told this one to Zaya and I showed her what it was. And her first thought was, what if you lost the key? Oh. So this next one is from a guy called The Dolphin. And his bio is simply...
I can breathe through my ears.
I don't even know what's going on there. I'm not going to try and explain it to you because I don't know.
Please do not contact me if you voted for Brexit.
Same, hun. Same.
Willing to offer a £4,000 monthly allowance for a girlfriend who will cheat on me all the time.
Hun, sign me up. Oh, so those were my favourite bios on Seeking Arrangements, and I also read an article when I was on there that spoke about safety when meeting a sugar baby or a sugar daddy for the first time. So most of the advice speaks to trusting your gut, which I think is quite obvious, but I've linked the article in the episode description if you're interested in having a bit of a read and learning a bit more. Here were some of their main points that I was reading through. Number 1, when talking with someone online, don't have a username with your full name in it. So this is quite obvious. Obviously, you don't want people to know who you really are. There's a lot of freaks out there on the internet, as we've spoke about in previous episodes. So yeah, most of the usernames on there are quite random. I think mine was Mandy or something when I was doing the test, obviously. Don't use photos from your Facebook or Instagram in your profile as they're the fastest to trace. So I think A lot of us, especially us FBI agent girls out there, have done a reverse image search on Google Images, which is where you can search for the image and then see what it links through to on Google. So that one's quite an interesting one. Never give money to someone online. So this was interesting as well when looking through a lot of the sugar daddy profiles. A lot of them said have been in contact with scammers before who just want me to send money to them online, not looking for an online relationship and that sort of thing. So I found that really interesting that there's a lot of girls out there trying to take advantage of what these men are offering. The next one was never tell someone where you live or if you live alone, and always meet in a public place. So yeah, that one just speaks for itself. Pay attention to body language and facial expressions. So I think keep your wits about you, and sort of if someone's acting a bit off or whatever, just use your instincts. If you're in a bar, make sure you watch your alcohol, literally. So not only the amount of alcohol you're drinking, but also never let the drink out of your sight, obviously for roofies and that kind of thing. Always have enough money to get home, and do not accept a ride or walk home with someone. So 2 reasons for this. First one, you don't want them knowing where you live. And second one, you don't know where they're going to take you. And I think the main lesson from this is if you are going to dabble in the sugar dating world, always trust your gut and don't hesitate to leave anytime you feel uncomfortable. So just trust your instincts and just go with what feels right. And yeah, don't hesitate to act and don't feel awkward about it, because the main thing is looking after yourself and looking after your friends as well. So Mad's World is an inclusive place, meaning if you do have any stories about sugar dating of your own, I would love to hear them. I think this community that we're building up is really fun. So even if you can't share them with your friends, just know I'll always keep them anonymous, and would love to talk to you about them. So you're about to hear from my friend Hayley in Melbourne, who had a sugar daddy experience of her own with a businessman called Mr. Wong. Hayley and I met a few years ago on a night out, and I'm sure you'll find our chat very interesting. Hello, Hayley.
Hello, mate. How are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. You know, we're out of lockdown. We're getting back into normal life. It's terrifying, but it's great.
It's been a long slug for those Melburnians, and the time difference as well. I'm having a coffee while you're having a couple of champers. Isn't that right?
2 very different vibes, but you know what? It's just, we're coming together. We're full of excitement, so I love it. I'm so sorry that you're going back into lockdown.
I know, it's no fun, is it? Okay, so I'm going to start off with the quickfire round, which is the speed dating round, and this will give the listeners at home a little bit of background about Hayley. So how did we first meet?
I think we met through Adriana, didn't we? We've got a mutual friend. Yes, I don't know how you guys knew each other, but my first memory of you is at billboards.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember this night, but I remember seeing you in the distance. You were on the podium.
Yep.
This long legs, blonde hair. You were looking stunning. And I was like, that's Adriana's friend. And me and whoever I was with, we went up and joined you on the podium, and we were like, fuck yeah. And you're just such a sick bitch, like so down to earth and so good to chat to. So even though we'd only met like once before that, like we had a sick night. We've
became Instagram friends, which I bloody love, especially being over in London. It's so nice to have my little Instagram friends. Some people are like, I want to spend some time off social media and that sort of thing. I'm just like, girl, that's what all my friends are.
Yes, we're all connected. I feel like you and me were just like social media lovers.
So true.
Lovers from afar.
Lovers from afar. Oh, love that. So how long have you been in a relationship, Hayley?
Been in a relationship for about 1.5 years, and I feel like half of that we've been in lockdown. So my poor boyfriend, I feel like when we started dating, I was like Fiona. I was beautiful. I was this princess. And then in lockdown, I've fully become Shrek. So he's really got to experience both sides of me. I'm hairy. I'm just, this horrible, grumpy person.
Oh, wow.
We're still together. Things are going great. So
sounds really good for him.
He's had a great time.
If they don't love you at your Princess Fiona Shrek version, they don't deserve you your Princess Fiona human version.
Yes, exactly.
And previously, before you met, how often would you say you were going on dates?
God, so before my current relationship, I was single for about 5 or 6 years. And I went through stages. So I was like a serial dater. I'd go on a date like every fortnight, and then it would fizzle out and I'd be like, you know what? I don't even want to date. I like my company more. I'd rather be by myself. It's too much effort. I don't even like dating. I'd get drunk before I went on the date
Yeah.
because I was so nervous. So I'd go through periods where I'd just like not date at all. And then I'd be like, oh, hang on. No, I'm lonely. So I'd be like every fortnight. So it kind of changed over that 5-6 years. So yeah, here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, it is a little bit like that. It fluctuates so much. And when you've got, especially in lockdown, I feel like you've got all this time to think in that. And I think my view on it has definitely changed so much.
Yeah, and online dating's so hard.
Isn't it? So what's your usual type then?
So I thought I had a usual type, and I think we all do before we get into a long-term relationship. But for me, being like 5'7", size 14, I'm a curvy gal. For me, my type has always been they either have to be taller than me or bigger than me. It was
Okay.
always like a dad bod, or at least 6 foot.
I love a dad bod. That's so wholesome.
We love a dad bod. It makes us feel better about ourselves.
Oh, I love that. And I feel like when they've got a dad bod, I'm less scared that they're going to run away and cheat on me, because the girls would be like, no.
Oh, man.
The ones with abs are going to cheat on you.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because my current boyfriend does have a six-pack, and that was never my type, but he is taller than me. So I'm like, at least I still feel little, I'm shorter, but,
Oh, Hayley, that's great. He's got a six-pack. Good on you.
I know. We're all happy for him. That's great.
And then apart from the six-pack, what is the best thing about being in a relationship?
It's the unconditional love. Like you said, they love you at your Fiona and they love you at your Shrek. About a month ago, I had food poisoning from salmon, and I'm talking like that fish was coming out of my nose.
No.
And he still kissed me afterwards. And mind you, like, he was angry at me for kissing him after spewing. And he was mad that I hadn't brushed my teeth. But you know what? He still did it. I forced him into it. And that's unconditional love. Like, you've always got someone that's on your team. And I like that.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about being in a relationship.
Oh, God, that question always makes me feel so depressed.
I'm so sorry.
I'm like, I'm so lonely. Oh, God. Oh, well, thank you again for joining the podcast. And I've asked you to come on the pod and talk about a really fun subject, which I think the listeners are going to absolutely love. And it's about sugar dating. So I know that when we were chatting, you've got lots of interesting stories, and I think we can come back to those in later pods. But the one today I wanted to chat to you about was your experience with Mr. Wong, the sugar daddy.
Yes, Mr. Wong. We love Mr. Wong.
We do.
It was a good time in my life.
All right. Well, if I'll throw over to you, and I'll let you chat us through the experience that was Mr. Wong, and then we can have our left on red round, which is our question round, and have a bit of some Instagram and some listeners' questions that they might have about sugar dating. So I'll throw to you.
Yes, well, my sugar daddy dating experience started out because I was quite a poor gal working in retail. I think all of us girls, we always hear these rumors about, like, these men, these rich men that will pay you to just go out for dinner with them. You don't have to sleep with them. You don't have to kiss them. They'll pay you and you can just have dinner with them and just have a good time. And obviously I was single at the time, and I was like dating. And I thought, are these rumors true? So I signed up to Seeking Arrangement.
Yes.
When you sign up, you have to sift through disgusting message after disgusting message. There's like so many men that are like, will you do this for this amount of money? And will you do this? And will you do this? And I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to go out for dinner and eat a meal, and then I want someone to pay me to do that.
Yeah.
Like, is this possible?
Yeah.
Is this actually a real thing? And part of you always thinks like, am I actually hot enough for someone to pay me to eat? So then, here comes Mr. Wong.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were chatting back and forth, and he just said, look, I'm a bit lonely and I just want someone to hang out with me and have a meal and just sort of go on a date, because he was a businessman and he didn't get time to do that. I felt quite sorry for him. I feel like, he's a businessman. He doesn't have a lot of time to date and meet people. So that, my heart just really felt for Mr. Wong.
Yeah.
And we organised a time to go out for dinner. And even before the dinner, he was like, what was your email? I'll send you a little gift. And he sent me this spa voucher, and I was just like blown away. I was like, I've made it. Like, Mum, this is what we've dreamed of. This is, you know, sometimes your parents want you to aim high, and then sometimes, you know, you aim low. And this was really just me being like, I've reached it. I've hit my dream. I went to the spa and I have a great time. And then our dinner date arrives. And I literally went on this dinner date with $20 to my name.
Yep.
And we were having dinner, and he was just lovely. He was just like this beautiful man, and he was quite shy, and we just had a really nice dinner. And then he just gave me a couple of $100, and then for the next month it was just like, yeah, he'd send me gifts throughout the week. It might be like a Maya voucher, or it might be another spa voucher, and then we'd go out for dinner and he'd give me some money. And it was just such a nice time. Like, he had a lot of information to tell me about like business and money. None of it I've kept and implemented. I'm still poor. Mr. Wong, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Like, could still use a free meal.
Some free business advice.
Yes, please. I'm still struggling. But yeah, no, I think it was a good experience, but I'm glad it's over. It was just my reckless young self having a stab in the dark at sugar dating and being like, yep, I'm satisfied.
So your Mr. Wong story reminds me of a time a few years ago when I had a message from a guy, an Irish guy. He was a rugby player. He was in his 40s. He messaged me on Instagram, and I could obviously have a bit of a stalk of his profile and everything and suss him out. And he was like, do you want to go for a drink at Shoreditch House, which is like a members club and that kind of thing. And I can talk to you about sugar dating. And obviously I wasn't interested in sex or anything, but I was interested to just see how the sort of experience goes and that kind of thing, and just chat to him about why you like to do it and that kind of stuff. So dressed up in my little fur coat and everything and wandered down to Shoreditch House and had drinks and that kind of thing. And I was chatting to him and asking him, so why do you like to do sugar dating and that kind of thing? And he said when he was living in Belgium and he saw a girl at the bar one time and ended up dating her for a while and paying her rent and that kind of thing, and realized he really liked the idea of looking after someone but didn't believe in monogamy. So he he enjoys those kind of relationships because you can have a friendship and like spoil someone and take someone out, but there's none of the commitment. So I guess he's off, he can go on dates and that sort of thing. And the main reason that he was interested in that kind of a relationship is because most of the women his age who are in their 40s are obviously looking for something a bit more committed, and he just wasn't down for that. I think he just really liked the idea of like spoiling someone and that kind of thing. So I just had a good chat to him. And like, obviously it wasn't my jam, but he was a lovely bloke and quite good looking and everything. And he was Irish, so I liked listening to him talk. So
we love an Irish accent.
Oh,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if that's what you're after and both parties know that that's what the situation is, I think that's fine. If you want to spoil someone but you don't want to be committed to them, I mean, that's your prerogative. And then like, at least the other person knows that that's what the situation is. I think honesty is the best policy.
Yeah. And if you've got the money to spend, give it to me, hon.
I mean, we all would love a little bit of extra money if you've got some excess, income and you want to spread it out and
excess. God, I could use some excess income right now. I'll tell you what. My lockdown spending has just been like Amazon parcels delivered every day. I'm like, I don't even need this garlic crusher. Why did I buy it? Genuinely. Yesterday I was on an app and I just wanted to know what it'd feel like to buy a new duvet cover. So I clicked buy and suddenly it's like, cha-ching, it'll be delivered tomorrow. I was like, girl, no, but also yes.
Well, there's no other joy in our lives. We have to find joy from somewhere. Also, you said duvet. You were so English
now.
I know.
I was going to say doona, but then I get reprimanded here in London when I say doona. They're like, doona? What's a doona? Oh, God. I've got literally 50-50 listeners in Australia and in the UK. So half of them are going to go, what's a duvet? And half of them are going to go, what's a doona?
You can't please everyone. Just go with what feels right.
I know. So I guess now we can have our left on red round, which is our question round. And it's called that because being left on red makes you question everything about yourself. So let's start with our first question. How much money would you expect to make? Let's do hourly rate, Hayley.
I was a newbie. I had no expectations. I wasn't a proper sugar baby, in quotation marks. I mean, I wanted a couple of hundred. I would expect for my time, a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
I think that was a reasonable amount, but really I had no expectations.
Totally. And then how do you feel about it now?
I don't regret it. It is a funny and interesting story, and I like having a laugh about it. But I think looking back, I potentially could have been putting myself in quite a dangerous situation. I mean, this was a complete stranger. And even though dating on Tinder and stuff, they're all strangers. But, you know, I look back and I'm just like, that was the younger me. I was a bit reckless.
Yeah.
And thank God it ended up okay, and it's a funny story and it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
So no regrets, but yeah, I wouldn't do it again.
So in saying that, I was going to ask, would you pursue it again, or would you pursue a similar situation again, or not really?
Look, probably not. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I'm head over heels in love. So the thought of having dinner with another man kind of makes me feel a bit repulsed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm smarter now. I work hard for my money. I don't want to ask for handouts from anyone. I'm glad that I did it and experienced it because it's a great story. But yeah, happy for that to just be in the past.
100%. And would you say it does affect any relationships you've had in the past, or if you were having a relationship at that time, do you think it would have affected that?
Look, Mr. Wong didn't affect any relationships because we didn't hook up or anything. So it was just a few dinners. But I think being on the site kind of affected how I felt about men.
Yeah, for sure.
Mainly men that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Only because while I was on the site, I got some pretty disgusting messages that I was like, wow, there's some real sickos out of there.
Yeah.
Like out there.
Yeah, 100%. And then how did your experience with Mr. Wong end?
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Well, one of his gifts, he was like, surprise, I bought you some Katy Perry concert tickets. And I was like, well, I'm not a big fan of Katy myself, but that's really nice. You know, I'm so appreciative of you thinking of me and doing this gesture. And my best friend is actually a massive fan of Katy Perry. So I was like, we're going to go. I'm so excited. And because of our work schedules, we didn't actually have a chance to meet up and have a dinner where he could give me the tickets. And it came to the night of Katy Perry and he was like, you're just going to have to come and quickly grab them off me. And I rushed over after work. I had no makeup on, hair slicked back. I'm talking like my ugliest self. I was full Shrek.
Oh, no.
I was like my total Shrek self, picked up the tickets, been like, thank you so much. And then he never spoke to me again. And I think Mr. Wong saw me in my natural state and he thought, I'm not giving this chick any more money.
Oh my God.
Like,
the glass is shattered. The illusion's broken.
He was seeing me through those rose-colored glasses. He was like, no more.
Oh.
But yeah, we had a sick time at Katy and we were front row with all the 15-year-olds and we had a blast. So
that sounds lovely.
I'm happy it ended how it did. And Mr. Wong, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Send me a spa voucher.
Yes, I'm needing a bit of pampering.
Oh God, that's awesome. And then would you say there's an age limit for being a sugar baby, or on websites like Seeking Arrangements, was there all kinds of women on there?
Well, I don't think there is, to be honest. I mean, obviously I'm not a seasoned expert, but I think that you could be a sugar baby at any age. I think the whole point of that website is just to be pampered and kind of meet men that you probably wouldn't meet on Tinder.
Our last question was, how do you go about finding a sugar daddy? So I suppose on Seeking Arrangements is a good place to start, but do you think there's any other ways to find sugar daddies? I guess you could go to a nice bar or something and do a little bit of hunting. But
a couple of my friends have had sugar daddies and they've actually been through mutual friends. Like it's been someone's boss, like maybe their friend's boss that they've met, and it's like led into this whole like
really?
Sugar daddy experience, and they've actually had some really successful relationships through that because it's been like they know that they're not potentially dangerous. It's like a safe relationship, whereas I think going on a website is that potential for danger, whereas if you're meeting them through someone else and it just happens to be a sugar daddy experience, I think it would be a better situation to put yourself in.
That actually sounds like a way safer way to do things, I suppose. But at the end of the day, it seems like this sort of ominous, scary old man who's seasoned in sugar dating and that kind of thing online. But then, I mean, if you think about it, all the dating apps that normalized that we would use like Tinder or Hinge or whatever, you still don't know who someone is out there. Like, and it doesn't matter how old someone is, like that's going to make them more or less of a serial killer, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of like,
No, I mean, I've heard scary stories of young guys and of old guys. So I just think you have to be street smart either way.
Yeah, and just keep your wits about you if you're going into a situation like that, which yeah, I think that's the lesson from all of it. Like it is a fun experience, and if you can avoid judging other people's decisions and that kind of thing, everyone, like each to their own, and everyone's out there doing their own thing and that kind of thing. But yeah, as long as you're being safe and taking care of yourself and taking care of your mates more importantly as well. So
100%. You got to make sure your friends know where you are, and like just be smart about it. Like don't keep it a secret. I don't think people are as judgmental.
Yeah,
I think everyone loves a good story.
That's literally the biggest thing I'm learning from doing this podcast. The amount of people that have come out of the woodworks with insane stories. I feel like I've got content for months of just people's crazy stories, and everyone loves a dating horror story. Oh, well, that's all the questions we've had from the listeners, but was there anything else you wanted to say, and a note that you wanted to leave it on to the people out there who might be looking for a sugar daddy or a sugar baby?
Well, I mean, if anyone was thinking about getting into sugar daddy dating, I think honesty is the best policy.
Mm-hmm.
If you put out what you're wanting out of the experience, and then they can tell you what they're wanting. I mean, every time I spoke to someone, I was like, this is what I'm wanting. I don't want to hook up. I don't want sex. I'm looking for more like a friendship where we can go out for dinner and we can keep each other company during like this lonely period that we're having. You're not going to get any surprises, and I think it'll bring out nice people, and you'll be able to weed out all the crazies. And yeah, like let your mates know what you're doing, or at least tell just one person so they can kind of keep an eye out on you. And I mean, I wouldn't say go for it, but I just think be smart about it if you're going to. I mean, my story is a funny one, but I'm sure there's like so many out there that have gone wrong. So yeah, just be smart about it.
Yeah, that's really insightful. Thanks so much for summing everything up. I love that. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show, Hayley, and I hope we can meet again more than once. I'll chat to you on the Instagram. If you come to London, come stay with Mads, Auntie Mads.
All right, chat to you soon. All the best.
I hope you liked hearing from Hayley and I about sugar daddies. If you have any questions for me or any stories of your own, please let me know on my Instagram. It's @madsworld.mp3. Love and elbow taps. Peace.